here.
Am I supposed to zoom in?
Well, just as long as it's got my hands in my clay. My clay is lumpy, and I tend to rush during the demos, so I could see this first one just flopping right off. So you guys know that centrifugal force will naturally widen your clay, so when I pull up, instead of pulling straight up, I'm going to pull to the center. That's something that Cody learned yesterday. And so pulling your walls in is going to be better than pulling them straight up, because the speed is going to naturally flare out. And especially because I'm going to be closing this up at the top, we want the opening on top to get smaller and smaller. You guys can see my lumps at the top, right? You can see it, I can feel it. I have a lot of clay here. My pot's not for a grade, I just want to make sure I can demonstrate. So the first thing is getting it to be tall enough for you to start closing things off. Before you close things off, you would want to get in and dry up. So Cody, can you see if there's any sponges on sticks up there? It's literally called sponge or stick sponges or something like that. So again, don't just throw a straight up cylinder. You want to throw it, I'm going to say kind of volcano-ish, you know, volcano.
That's what I was just going to ask. Can you make a volcano?
Kind of pyramid-ish. I'm going to just get rid of some of this clay so that I can get close.
Sure, I broke it.
Yeah, the one I was using did that too.
So, to get out all that moisture before I close up and shape and stuff, I just want to use a sponge on a stick, which they are sort of falling apart, so I'll have to sort of rig some things up a little bit. I'm going to start shaping by pot bellying. I'm going to push the bottom out, so I'm using my left fingers, which are down low, pushing out. You guys should have experienced this already with all the shaping you're doing. So you do have to do some pot belly and rounding. I have a huge, huge lump in my clay. And then I need a needle tool as well.
It's gonna collapse.
It could collapse. Then you need kind of a rather long neck for you to start closing things up. Thank you. Get rid of some of this lumpiness.
That didn't help.
Part of that lumpiness is just how well I wedged
whoa,
it.
whoa, look at it just spinning.
When we watch the video with Matt tomorrow, we're gonna have to listen to the commentary.
It's Matt.
Okay, so once you have a nice long area that you can start closing up, you're gonna do what's called collaring. It's 6 points. You have your index finger, your middle knuckle, and your thumb on both sides. And you're gonna start down by the shoulder and just sort of start collaring with those 6 points and slowly move up. And sometimes this piece breaks off on me. Sometimes I can close it up to a nice high point. It just kind of depends on what your plan is. So I'm going to start down low again and collar back up.
It looks like a chair right now.
Wow.
Like, look, just like the top's like the back of a chair, and it looks like...
Eventually it gets so small that I'm only 4-point collaring. So I have 2 fingers on each side. And I'm going to cut off again because I don't need all this stuff up here. My walls are thick, so before I close it up, I'm also going to thin some things out.
We're immature.
Just some of you. Alright, I'm going to collar again.
It's got no neck.
And I'm just going to close it right up and let it break off. Now inside is a big giant air bubble, so it is going to create some good support for your clay. Once you close off, sometimes I have kids, before they close it off, puff on their top and blow it up so it kind of feels nice and round. But otherwise, take your metal rib. I basically tell you to kiss the clay. You can take your rib and kind of mold your bubble now because of its air inside. I'm going to flatten this out up on top and just sort of compress the walls.
If you press too hard, you can just go poop.
It could cave in, but really it shouldn't because it's full of air right now. There's nowhere for that air to go. So unless you poked it with a needle tool or something, it really can't go anywhere. We had a guest artist come a couple years ago. She liked to put in designs with her pinky. So depending on what your plan is, you can add a little spiral design or something to the top. And right here, I'm just gonna mark with my fingernail. That's probably right where I'm gonna cut off top to bottom.
Didn't she also like make really small ones?
She was a mini pot specialist, yes. Then just as normal, you would cut all the clay off the bottom, all your excess clay. And then you would wire cut it.